Greetings and salutations, life and poetry fam. Welcome back to the channel. Excuse me, with your boy, your host, Marcus T. This guy. Guys, one of the previous Storytime videos, we talked about, or I talked about, an issue I had, and it sent me to the hospital. I believe the title of that video is Life is a 5-Letter Word. If you have not yet seen that video, I will most likely put the pop-up thing in this video somewhere if I figure out how to do it. If not, it will be at the end of the video, or just go back to the playlist and go for it. If I can't figure it out, guys, please forgive me. But so I tested that there, and what happened, I had to go to the hospital. And I said to you guys that I would do a part 2 to conclude what happened in that year, 2016. And to start off, I'm gonna say this.
2016 was not my year.
It was completely rough, guys. First video, I talked about how I had got sick and things happened, and it escalated to me going to the hospital, guys. I talked about how I lost so much weight and things, guys. And yeah, so let's just keep it going. I believe I left off with me coming home from that second hospital when I was getting better. Or so I thought, right? So I thought. So I come home, and I am indeed feeling better, and I believe I'm getting better. I'm up moving. I'm out of the wheelchair, and like I said, I'm on the walker, and I'm getting around. I'm going out, continuing my day-to-day things, my tasks that, you know, my day-to-day life operations type thing or whatever, and I'm feeling good for the most part, right? I'm fighting this thing here, and we go on and fighting, we going forth, and these, that, and the third, right? And then I think that was around March 2016. I came home. Correction, it was in April. I remember it was after St. Patrick's Day. It was in April. I came home in April, and I'm doing good. I'm pushing through. I'm going out with the family. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying life best I can. And then things took a big turn for the worse, for lack of a better term. And it went downhill fast. It went downhill really fast. I felt like I was, in a sense, broken, right? I had no use of my legs. I didn't have the full capacity of my legs, or, you know, I couldn't use them with full functionality. They're still there, they still move, but they don't operate anymore how I want them to in this time. And I'm starting to realize that I don't feel normal anymore, right? And with that, it's like everything start hitting me in my face, like, okay, now I gotta go out. But when I go out, I need assistance to go out. I need someone who knows how to deal with me if something happens while I'm out. So to say the least, I had to literally teach some of my friends the do's and don'ts when we go out. More so the do's. I was in an apartment on the 3rd floor. Then, and to get out, I had to either be carried up and down the steps, or I had to slide down the steps on my butt, because I didn't have that functionality in my legs, you know, to maneuver steps just yet, right? So all this is going on, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to church no more. I had just got back to where I was with God, but I was like, okay, I can have church on the phone. So my church, the blessing was that they were able to call me, and I was able to listen in during service via phone. Um, it wasn't officially a teleconference line, but it got the job done. But going out, no. So my friends would come to me and they were like, you know what? You're going out today. So they would force me to get dressed and they would literally drag me out of the house, kicking and screaming sometimes, but it needed to be done. But still, all these things were just piling on. I'm like, okay, they are looking at me different. I can't do what I used to do with them. I can't be myself because I don't have the mobility that I used to. And I had a sense that they were looking at me as if I was broken too. They were so caring that if the slightest thing happened, the first thing, you good, you all right, what you need, which was a blessing. I love them for that. But it made me feel little in a sense, I don't think I've ever told them that. So if they're watching this, guys, I apologize that I didn't tell you, but sometimes, you know me, right? And if you don't know me, you stick around at the channel, you'll get to know me, guys. Pause right here, guys. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, guys. Let's get those numbers up. Let's bring in more family members. Let's grow this family, guys. The Life of Poetry family, let's grow. I believe we are at 37 subscribers right now, guys. Let's get it up there, guys. Let's keep pushing, guys. Share this video, like this video, and comment, guys. Trust me, comment. If you have any questions about what I'm talking about, if you just want to share something with me, don't hesitate to drop a comment down below, guys. But yeah, I should have did that at first, but hey, sometimes you gotta roll with it, right? But yeah, so, excuse me. Yeah, definitely cutting that out. But so we're going out and we're doing these things, but everything's just piling on. And I'm like, okay, something is breaking, but I just can't put my finger on exactly what it is. And in my mind, all hell basically broke loose, right? Because fear was an understatement of what set into my body. I was completely terrified. I was completely terrified of what was going to happen. I literally thought that this was the time that I was just about to be just gone. I was just gonna be done. And in all that, but I'm still up, I'm still moving, I'm still going about, right? Then slowly but surely, things started to deteriorate. My health started to slip again, and things started to kick back up, and my body started to go through these drastic changes. They weren't small, they were huge changes. And I'm like, okay, I've been through this before, I can fight it. But this time my body was like, nah, bruh, nah, not this time. This time you gotta cave into it. And I fought tooth and nail. I was like, I'm not finna listen to my body, I'm gonna listen to me. I'm gonna tell my body what to do. But no matter how hard I fought, it fought back, right? And all that fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting sent me on one of these slippery slopes into a state of depression. Now, I knew that I had slipped into it, but I did a pretty good job of masking it so my family or my friends could not see it. I didn't need them to try to save me. I didn't want them to. I didn't want them to say, you know what, you need help. I wasn't there for that. That's not what I was looking for. That's not what I wanted at the time. It may have been what I needed, but it sure enough wasn't what I wanted. So I didn't accept it. So all this happening, and at the time, I carried a knife. Back in my ROTC days, whenever we went to the field, I always had a knife on me. Two things I never forgot: my watch and my knife. Watch to tell time we were getting out of this field. It's time to go. I'm hungry, right? But my knife, you never knew what you needed it for. And at the time that this knife was sitting at the side of my bed, and I had a thought in my head, and I was like, you know what? I can't. I'm tired. My body's is taking too many beatings through this, all these things happen. I'm tired of getting tests done. I'm tired of pokes and prods. I'm tired of blood work, lab work, and all these other things got to be done. I'm like, I just want it to be over. And at the time, I only saw one option. Only saw one option. And that was a tactical knife made by Smith & Wesson at the side of my bed. And it was one of them nice little knives. You push the thing, the blade springs up or whatever. You know, it wasn't one of the big field knives. You know, it was a good, knife, clip on your belt, your pocket, and keep pushing. And so I look at this knife and I roll over. My legs don't work, so I literally have to roll over to the side of the bed. And I reach for the knife. And I have the knife in my hand, and I go to fling it up, right? And the knife jams. Now, one thing about me, I never let my equipment malfunction. I always take care of anything I have. Whenever, especially in uniform or out of uniform, my equipment was always maintained and managed. So for this knife to jam, it was a problem, right? The spring wasn't broke, but it literally was stuck. And I'm trying to force this knife open, and for about a good 5 minutes or so, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna open. I'm gonna find another way to do it. And when that thought went through my head, my phone rang, and it wasn't a text. If you know me, I don't like phone calls. So you either text me, or you just show up at the house. But this time I had a phone call, and it was my cousin and my best friend, right? And she was like, "What you doing?" And I gotta lie. I ain't gonna lie, I had to lie. I was like, I ain't doing nothing. Just chilling right here watching TV. She said, put some clothes on. I'm about to pull up. We going out. And I was like, nah, I'm not really up to it. She was like, too bad. I'm turning into the parking lot now. Buzz me up. Come on, put some clothes on. We going out. So, okay. So we going out. She comes pick me up. We go out and stuff, right? And I had a small breakdown where I almost cried, but I know I couldn't. I had to try to keep my composure intact. And she was like, I know something's wrong. And I was like, yeah. And I couldn't lie to her at that point. That's my best friend. I try not to keep anything from her. She's been my rock through this process here, through and through. And so I tell her what's going on. And she said, okay, all right. She said, you're going to be all right. I got you. She said, because you're like my brother. And for her to say that to me, it meant the absolute most to me. And at that point, I actually broke down and started to cry. And she was like, yeah, I got you, right? And so I get myself together and I look over and I was like, thank you. She's like, no problem, right? If you know her voice like real high, like she got one of them high octaves in her natural tone, yeah. And she like 30, right? Yeah, sound like she 12. But she was like, okay, no problem, we got this, we gonna stick together. She was like, so what you want to eat? And I was like, through all this here, me crying, having this breakdown, you want to eat? I was like, cool, we can go eat. I was like, you pick. She was like, let's hit up our spot, right? Our spot is IHOP. Whenever we link up, we always made a lunch date at IHOP or a brunch, whatever we did. We end up at IHOP somewhere, right? So we went out there and we was chilling or whatever. And we go back to her house and we started watching movies. I had a movie marathon day and stuff, and I'm feeling better. I'm getting better. My mind is off of the knife. And then, so I go home and everything's going good. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward a lot. So we were in April, right? So towards the end of April, my body started to get worse. My legs started to get weaker. I started getting dizzy spells. I started getting numbness throughout my entire body. It was one night where I remember my mom coming in the room and she was yelling my name, but my body couldn't move and I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak. It was like I was just mute or something. Nothing would come out, but I couldn't move my body. But I remember me being able to move a finger, and I guess she was like, "Okay, you good?" She took my leg and shook it, and it jolted my body to like come alive or whatever. It felt like it was like one of the Frankenstein things, it's alive type thing, right? And And I was like, I'm not really feeling too good. So she was like, you just lay here. Um, and you know, just when you're ready to eat, just let me know and I'll bring you food, right? So that day goes by, and the weekend comes around. Toward the end of April, the weekend comes around. I believe it's toward the end of April. Either end of April or beginning of May, right? It comes around, and it's a Sunday, and I'm not going to church because I don't have the strength to actually get up and do anything. I didn't have the strength to get up to even go in the bathroom to brush my teeth. I had to brush my teeth in a cup, and, you know, like that. It was a mess. It was a lot. Even going to the bathroom was a lot. I had to have someone actually help me to the bathroom. Yeah. Right. So I'm sitting there and I can't move. This particular Sunday, and my mom was okay. We got to go out. We got to go take some runs. She had to go visit my brother. And so I was like, well, I can't move, so I'm laying in this bed. And she calls my big brother mentor. Now he's my pastor. She calls Rob. His name is Rob, right? Shout out to you, Rob, if you're watching this. Shout out to you. You get MVP for this one here. You and Lamont, right? So she calls Rob, and she's like, look, I need you to come by before you go to church and pick up the key to the apartment, to the house, right? To the apartment. And he comes by, he picks up the key, he checks on me, he says, you know, all right, I got him. You know, I check on him periodically. I come back after service, stuff, make sure he's all right, bring up some stuff, right? And so I'm in the bed, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm just lay here and go to sleep, right? So towards the afternoon time, I had to go to the bathroom, but again, I couldn't move. And I was okay, I'll be all right, mom should be back soon, whatever. And I couldn't get to my phone enough to call and see where she was. So at the time, I'm trying to get everything together, and I'm trying to get up out of the bed, trying to make myself get up to get to the walker, to get to the bathroom, because I didn't want to use the bathroom on myself. It's bad enough I had to do it in the hospital. So to do it here at home, it was like, you know, I can't let this beat me, right? So I'm, long story short, I end up using the bathroom myself. And a few minutes later, Rob comes through with his brother, Lamont, and they see me in the bed, and I let them know what happened, and they picked me up, and they took me to the bathroom, cleaned me up, gave me a complete bath, helped me lotion my body, put my clothes on, and put me back in the bed, and they made sure I ate. They bought me some KFC $5 fill-up box. I remember it to this day, right? And that's when the $5 fill-ups had just came out, yeah. So I'm in the bed, I'm eating, and he was like, you want to get up? And I was like, no, I just need to lay here. So he was like, cool, right? Cool, it's all right. So he calls my mom and says, okay, look, I just checked on Marcus, he's good. We're going to go back out, but we'll come back, we'll keep checking on him or whatever. So Mom's comes back, and my sister, they come back to the apartment, and I'm in the bed, and I'm telling them everything's all right, everything's cool. And then maybe like 10, 15 minutes later, I hear knocks at the door, right? Then I hear footsteps coming up the hallway. Now this hallway in this apartment was pretty freaking long. It was long as ever, right? So I roll over and open my eyes, and who do I see? Pretty much my entire church family in this apartment coming for me. And I'm thinking, man, I ain't got time for this. I just want to lay here. Just let me be me. Let me just fade away in this bed right here. And Rob and Lamont was like, oh, we ain't got time for that. You finna get up and we finna go. And I was like, nah, man, I'm not going nowhere. So, and I literally fought these two tooth and nail. I even threatened to call the police on them and say I tried to kidnap, and I was going to say that they were kidnapping me. The truth, honest to God story, I was going to call the police and say that they were kidnapping me. And then they snatched my phone out of my hand if I could make the call, right? So they snatched me out of the bed by my wrists and my ankles. And they carried me down these steps, 3 flight steps, and they literally throw me. Lamont literally throws me to the back of his truck. Literally throws me, boom, hit my head on the door frame and everything. He didn't care. I was getting in the truck, right? And he's talking to me this entire ride. I'm not saying nothing. And I know what's happening. They're taking me to a hospital. I didn't care. I was like, you know what? If this is gonna be my last day, it's gonna be my last day. Ain't nothing you gonna do about it, right? So all this is happening. We get there to the hospital. Mind you, this is hospital trip number 2, right? Same year, 2016. 2 trips, right? So we get there, and I'm not talking to nobody. The nurses ask me questions, and I'm giving her I'm giving her the look that, like, if you don't get out of my face, like, I'm gonna kick you in your chin or something. Mind you, my legs ain't moving, but in my mind, I'm gonna kick you in your chin if you don't get out of my face. And she literally kneeled down to have me sign some paper and stuff. And I looked at her, I rolled my eyes, and I looked out the window. It had this stretch of windows on the side of the waiting room. And so my mom takes the paperwork and she starts filling them out, stuff like that. And they roll me back to the intake room and stuff like that, where they start doing the preliminary procedures and checks, stuff like that, take blood and vitals and all these things, you know. Now, the entire time I'm not talking to nobody, not talking to a soul, right? So all that stuff happens. They give me my room assignment. I go to the room, and they talk about this, your cable remote, all this, that, and third. Everybody there, hi, you gonna be all right? And I'm like, I just get out of my room. I don't care about you. I don't need you to care about me right now. Just get out and go. Bye. I'm done with you. No need for you to be here. So after all that, everybody leaves. After I get checked and stuff, mom's makes sure I'm all right. I'm not saying nothing to nobody. I'm like, I'm good. Y'all just go home. Don't worry about me. You just really irritate me right now. Just get out my space. So everybody literally leaves, and about 12 that night, 12 a.m. that morning, that night, however you want to look at it, well after visiting hours, here comes Lamont coming back to my room. It's the curtain that divides the room. You know, in the hospital, that curtain divides the room, so you 2 people in the room. He takes the curtain and he pulls it back, just throws it back, and he starts to laugh and stuff like that. So I'm back. And I'm like, how did you get past the nurse desk? Is no visiting hours old, about 3-4 hours ago. He says he comes through the side door and just comes right up. He didn't care. He just came in, right? So we sat there. He sat with me for some time. And the whole time, like a good 15 minutes, we were just quiet. And he looks, he taps me on my leg. He says, you know what? He says, I ain't got time for you. He says, you can't stop fighting. You know, and he really poured his heart out to me in a way that made me feel like, man, I'm a piece of crap right now. You know, like, he literally poured his heart out to me because he went through some things with a close friend of his, and he basically told me he could not let me wither away, right? I was about to say kill myself, but I don't like that term no more. He was not going to let me wither away. It was he was determined to get into my head and prove a point that I'd had something to live for. And lo and behold, he did just that. He did just that. And he stayed for a good period of time. I had free cable. So he took the remote, he started changing channels and stuff. I'm like, bro, I ain't got time for you running up my cable credits, right? He was like, it's fine. He said they'll give you some extra ones or something, right? So we watched, we were talking, we had this good heart to heart. And he was like, all right, now, like, I gotta go. You know, he was there for like a good 3 hours or so. And I'm quite certain he went somewhere else and took shots or something. Or I don't care. I know he went somewhere and got drunk. I don't care. Shout out to you, Lamont. You're my guy, right? But yeah, so we had that heart to heart in this hospital, and I'm like, man, I ain't got time. I'm like, he got me. I'm thinking about stuff. I'm like, man, okay, so they really fighting for me, and I'm not fighting for myself. I'm like, something just ain't adding up. In my dome, like, it's not aligning in the way that it's supposed to align right now, because his thoughts ain't my thoughts, and we not on the same page. Like, we supposed to be, you know, friends or whatever. Like, we supposed to be, you know, tight, cool, whatever. But I'm like, you supposed to be on my side with this. He basically told me, like, nigga, you ain't got no side. Excuse me for that word, right? I'm not gonna blank it out because I know, again, this is unedited, and if it offends you, I apologize now. But in the moment, that's really how I felt that he said. I could have blanked it out, but it takes away from the purpose of me telling this here, because he had passion behind what he was telling me. And I had no choice but to take it to heart. You know, I had no choice but to do it. And yeah, so he left, and I'm sitting in this bed like, man, all right, I'm gonna do my part to get them off my back or whatever. So I'm in this hospital, right? About 3 days go by. My family's coming in and out. They bringing food, this, that, and third. I'm eating or whatever, showing them that I'm eating a little piece of this and just tossing the rest or whatever. And the nursing staff is like, man, you got a family that really loves you. And I'm like, so, like, your point of telling me this is what? You know, they basically just kidnapped me and just dropped me in your hospital. Get out of my room. you know, and I remember her name was Denise, Miss Denise, the best nurse. After all this, she was the best. She was MVP in that hospital, Holy Cross. Um, and she sat and talked to me. And she was changing my IV and stuff because I kept rolling on the cord and it kept beeping. I'm like, yo, can you take this out or just go somewhere, unplug the machine, or I'm gonna do it for you. She's like, you just gotta keep your arm like this. Keep your arm out and you'll be all right, right? So we talked about stuff and she's like, okay, you really young. Like, what's going on? And I'm explaining to her and she's like, okay, I understand. You know what I said? But, and she hit me with this, right? She was like, well, you gotta keep fighting. And I was like, what? And I was like, would you eavesdrop on our conversation the other day? I'm saying this in my head. I didn't tell her that, right? She's like, man, you gotta keep fighting. You got something to live for. You got people out here that love you, that support you. She was like, if they didn't love you, they would never brought you here, right? So I'm like, okay. Now this time, I'm in this hospital maybe like 3-4 days. I ain't had no bath. I ain't changed my clothes, changed my drawers. I'm urinating in this cup, and I'm just like, yo, dump it, go, right? So some time go by, and my church family comes, and Aunt Donna comes. My church auntie comes, and she comes with my mom and my sister. They were there, and Aunt Donna sits in the windowsill in this corner. And my sister was like, you need to get up, man. You got to take a bath because you stink. And I was like, man, shut up. You know, like, you got audacity to somebody stink, right? Thinking she known or whatever, right? But she was dead serious. It was bad, right? It was bad, right? And so she literally strips me down. Adana's still in this corner, right? She didn't move. She was like, you be all right. You know, you need to wash. So I guarantee you she was in this corner praying. I don't care what she was in this corner praying. I know she was. So my sister, she strips me down. She's washing me from head to toe, puts my clothes on, washes my body up, put me in the bed, and feeds me. It says, I'm gonna sit here until you eat this. I'm quite certain it was chicken that day too. Black folk and chicken, I don't understand it. KFC, I don't know. They probably had a special going, something, I don't know, right? So all that's going on, and I'm like, and my mind is starting to change. I'm like, okay, I gotta change my mentality now. Like, something ain't right. You know, something ain't right, you know. And then my friends are coming through. They like, man, you gotta keep pushing through, man. We can't wait for you to get back up out of here, man, so we can go out this, that, and the third. And I'm like, so y'all don't care that I'm on this walker now? Y'all don't care that I'm dealing with something that could possibly end my life, you know, tomorrow if it could, you know? And they basically was like, man, we love you for you, and we got your back no matter what, you know? So they came through and we had fun. They bought games, we played in the hospital and stuff and all these things. I'm like, okay, let me start fighting for myself now or whatever, right? And that's when things started to change in my head, right? So I'm like, okay, let me figure all this out, right? So let's bring the doctors in. Let's have these consultations. Let's start talking about some stuff, right? And that there was a shift all in itself, guys. That's gonna be another video on what happens when the doctors came in. And a part 3 on this here. The part 3 will be the final piece of this here. I don't want to drag this out too much because this can go on for a long time. But I don't want to make these too long of videos, and it's too much to not leave out, right? But guys, in that hospital, Holy Cross Hospital, things completely changed for me. You know, and with the support of my family, my friends, my church family, my mentors and things, guys, it started to change for me, guys. I started to gain, my weight was coming back. I was starting to see clearer now, and I was starting to just, you know, be more alive. You know, that's why I got this tank top on. I wanted to, you know, I'm getting my weight back. You know, I'm not where I want to be, but it's coming back. You see that there? It's coming back. It's coming back. I believe that tattoo right there say blessed. This tattoo right there say blessed, right? This one say favorite, right? It's a reason they there, right? But I'm getting it back. I'm coming back at you 145. I'm at 126.5 at this moment now. It's coming back. All right, guys. But I had to show off. Right? I had to flex one time. Right? I had to flex one time. It ain't much. I don't care. It's enough though. It's enough though. But yeah, guys. So 2016 was not my year at all. It was so many loopholes and things. I was just like, you know what, man? I was like, something gotta change. Yo. 2016 beat me from February to June, man. To June. I left that hospital in June. I was in it from May to June. Remember, so I had to go from the hospitals to the physical rehab facilities. For me, that was all one trip, right? So from February to April to May to June, right? Yeah, from February to April to May to June. That's all those visits were. for both hospitals. It pretty much was a succession through and through, but it was a lot to say the least, guys. But you know, the blessing is that I'm here today. I'm here, I'm alive, I'm well enough to tell this story, and I'm free and confident enough that to have the courage enough to tell this story here, because I know that some people probably wouldn't tell this story here. And when I get to the end of when I get to the last part, you probably will understand why it took courage for me to even tell this here. I wrote a poem about what I'm dealing with, and I'm from the looks of it, I'm about to write a part 2. There's been some changes, you know. Some may say good changes, some may say, well, they're still stagnant. I look at any change as a good change. That says, you know, it's improvement somewhere. We're getting closer and closer to what happened and what's going on, you know. But yeah, guys, 2016, that jump, man, that jump had me on the ropes. I had to rope a dope, and they come with an uppercut and knocked me out. I got up, they put me back down. I got up, put me back down. I was like, you know what? Let me just stay down. But then I got up, and I was like, you know, it was a lot going on. If I was a fighter, I probably would have been like, you know what? Throw in the towel. I'm done. Throw in the towel. I'm done. Right? But yeah, guys. So 2016, man. I'm gonna ask you guys before I close out. Let me know how your 2016 was in the comments. Whether it was positive, what changes you went through, anything that changed in your life in 2016. If you've been through something like extensive hospital trips, guys, drop a comment down below. Let me know how your experience was. Let me know how you overcame the slippery slope to depression. Let me know how, if you had anxiety with being in the hospitals or anything that happened, guys, drop a comment down below. Again, like this video, give this video a thumbs up, guys. Hit that thing, make that blue thing go ding like that, the check mark up there, right? The thumbs up or whatever it is on your device. I think it's always a thumbs up. I don't care. Just like it, subscribe, share, guys. Comment down below, guys. Again, this is your host, Marcus T. This guy. Guys, thank you guys for tuning in to this installment of story time. And I really pray that by the end of these here, that you guys can take something from it and be encouraged by it. I'm literally what you would call a living and walking testimony, guys. Because if you caught the synopsis in one of the early videos, I wasn't supposed to be here today. But I'm living today. I'm breathing, have breath in my body. I'm functioning at a great capacity. Yes, my legs may still be wobbly. I still may not be able to move on my own, but guess what? That day will come. I'm speaking life into it. I'm staying on a promise that God made me. When I left that hospital in 2016, he said, you will walk differently. I'm yet standing on that promise. And I pray that you yet stand on every promise that God gave you and made to you guys, because it will come to pass and it will manifest in a great way. It will be an overflow of expectation that's coming your way, guys. Just stand in expectation, guys. Stand in expectation, because it will come in overflow, guys. Guys, trust me. This guy, testimony. Until next time, guys. Be blessed. Peace.